wouldn't have thought I would get it right. I was doing it with the camera. That's better. Oh, but I need you. Sometimes people drink coffee when they're not even hot. I mean cold. Y'all see, look, did I talk about 2 nights ago when I came live? This be right here. And I gotta build my basis for my it just falls. So it fell today. So it's just, I have to, like Boo tried to talk me through it. It's not, everything is tight, but it's not doing what it's supposed to do. And these, my peoples told me, you have to, it's gonna need a bigger base because as soon as you shake the table, and I can see it, like, because I have to put something on the bottom to make the bottom level, but I need that because y'all know I don't just sit here and hold my mic, not even the other mic. Well, I used to when I had a mic that had to be held, but now I got a mic that don't got to be held. So I want to be able to use my mic like it's supposed to be used because this is the equipment that Brother got. And I want it all to show. I got my little, see, the thing about this thing down here, I ain't even getting ready to try to pull that up. That's my little, I guess it's called a soundboard. I don't know. Y'all know what be in the studio. Brother got that for me on a little scale, you know. Welcome, 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 you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Sylvie414, and I is Sylvie, your rough edge lady, bringing you some of that 414, that one in the middle, just for some balance. You know, you see things this way. I didn't even share. I done been forgetting to share because I've been off the scene for a little bit and kind of, you know. Anywho, back to the one in the middle. You see things this way, and they may see things that way. And that one in the middle is just for a little bit of balance, because if we come together, we may be able to get some understanding. We may not always agree on things. That's what my driver said the other day. He was a whole radio host and stuff. He's been in the radio business. He's still in the radio business. He said he's in radio. He has a radio show in Williamsburg, but I do believe that he and his wife are going to be on their way to Tampa, Florida soon. Tampa, Florida. Yes, they're going to be going on down to Tampa, Florida, so God can assign him to his next situation in radio. He has been in radio, I want to say he said he was in his 60s. He's been in radio, you guys, since he was 11. Since he was whole 11. Yes. So I thank you guys for joining me just for a little bit. You know, I hope y'all have had a great day today. We is halfway through the week, you know, for those of us that do a Monday through a Friday schedule. Some of us do a Saturday schedule. So, you know, y'all ain't quite halfway. Y'all will be there tomorrow. Tomorrow be your halfway point. But I hope it's going great for you guys. And if it has not been going so great, I do so hope that it gets just a little better for you. You feel me? That's real talk. Because nobody wants to be not feeling great. But y'all, so, I was almost all the way prepared. Okay, here she goes. Y'all know sometimes Sylvie be liking to ask them questions so that the peoples can ponder. Because Sylvie just likes for y'all to just ponder. It is not one good old thing in this world wrong with pondering. God gave us whole ponders so that we can ponder. That's what it's there for. Are you headstrong? Do you act on impulse of whatever feeling is uppermost in your mind? Are you unrestrained by calculation or conscience? If your answer is yes to any or all of those, you are walking totally in the opposite of discretion. And believe you me, Sylvie knows what it's like to walk totally in the opposite of discretion. I am God's baby that God had to slow down, down. Yes, God did. Yes, God did. And why did God have to slow me down? Because I like to do everything on impulse. I moved rashly. I tell people all the time I was God's rash baby. From time to time, God still got to stop me from making a rash decision. And I ain't saying that every time God goes to try to stop me that it happens. Because things are a process. He was a G, and she was a gangster, allegedly. That's what that title we talking about, but things are a process. But in order to walk any process, y'all, I got glue on my wood. And the me that I am, nobody could ever see this. Cousin is talking about some things that y'all might can't see unless y'all got cameras that bring the video in, but it's some stuff up here that I got to, because I had to resand, like when I tell you I had to put this stuff together a few times to get that old sturdy. The only reason you seeing them shake is because the bottom is not because this Gorilla Glue say that ain't going nowhere. That's what Gorilla Glue say. Welcome. You gotta like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. But things are a process. Like nothing just generally, I ain't saying nothing ever happens overnight. Sometimes things happen overnight. Sometimes there is a whole such thing as cold turkey. But that is more or less the rarity. I think God tells you that this entire walk is a process. But in order to do the process, I think that one has to be willing to look at oneself. And as I just said on a comment where look, I said with all due respect, God. I said with all due respect. Because when somebody says, I pray 2 Chronicles 4:17. Was it 4:17? Is it 4:17? I think it's. I pray 2 Chronicles 4:17, because you can read tone through a text generally over you all. And all that the young lady, she went back and said, I agree with everything you say. She just said, say what you want to say. Jesus said, take this cup. Jesus never ever went back and said, okay, I'll take this cup. Jesus said, take this cup. Okay, not my will, but your will. That don't mean Jesus changed his mind and wanted to do it. No. She just said Jesus was murdered. Jesus was murdered. She said Jesus was murdered. Her take. Jesus did not give his life for us. Jesus was murdered. If God would have said, okay, baby, get on down from there. The man had just asked, can you take this cup? You think if God wouldn't have said, okay, baby, get on down from there, Jesus wouldn't have got down? He wouldn't have been breaking no covenants or nothing like that if he would have got down. God would have given him permission. Jesus was just the G of the G's, Although that's not who I'm speaking about in the title. I'm talking about another G. Jesus was just the G of the G's. But when that young lady quoted 2 Chronicles 7:14, it was in a very haughty, with your nose up in the air type of way. Look, call me something like the unction, because he getting flack for calling out haughtiness, and that, y'all know that I love that word. He don't even particularly call it haughtiness. He call it arrogance. Arrogance, narcissism. Ego out of control. I talked about check the emotion, check them jokers at the door. Ego out of control is definitely in the land of totally haughty. When she slew that 2 Chronicles 7:14 to you all, I was just like, well, ma'am, God talking to the church. If my people who are called by my name, Israel, the ecclesia, we all belong to God. But when we is walking in this Christian walk, that's the ecclesia. 2 Chronicles 7:14 talking to the ecclesia. So you want to go and you want to say, aren't we all God's people? Yes, we are. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell within. But the way you just slew it was like you was talking to them, they're sinners. Them, they're heathens. Them, they're other ones that don't belong to God for real. They do, but they don't. That's the way you threw that out there. The church folk. God know I don't like church folkedness. Oh, Mr. Pastor. Oh my God, I can't think of that man's name on TikTok. I ain't even gonna be able to find him. But he be talking about things church folk don't want you to say. You might can put in things. Let me right quick. Let me see if I can go to TikTok right quick. Hey y'all, there's a link in the video for what I'm gonna talk about, because let's talk Kayla Gaines. It's a link in the description. The link is gonna take you to the fight. I don't like fights, y'all. Let me tell y'all something. Not only do I not like fights, this gotta be a D-God thing. Because I'm praying for Marnice DeClue. Shout out to the family of Marnice DeClue. Y'all got my support. And I'm saying that. Look at Brother Bear with all these night. Oh my God, that car going down the roller coaster. That ain't what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that. Things. Church. Oh, don't like to hear. Don't want you to say. Yep, there it go. What his name here? His name is Be Heard. Period. Y'all know how I do. Just no T on it. Just period. Just period. So, and he gonna have the young lady. So I don't know what it is about these pastors keep getting up in these pulpits, man or woman. Because the Lord said when you need to give it to the man, he better catch it, or woe to him. Because truth don't care who tell it. You heard that? Willie D said that. Truth don't care who tell it. Keep getting up in that pulpit thinking that you control a flock. You don't control a flock. To be a spiritual parent, to be a spiritual parent is something totally different from being a parent, the biological kind. You get to tell them ones what to do. And you can only go so far with telling them ones what to do before you become controlling over them as well. Because they're just yours on loan, Go holler and think about that one. Howsoever, those adults And even those baby ones, they don't belong to you in that church house. You don't get to tell everybody. You can't tell me how to praise. You can't tell me when to pray. If you say raise your hand and the Spirit of God does not tell me to raise my hand, I don't have to. Welcome, 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 you guys. Some of them folk like to call me a rebel rouser for Jesus. He told that lady, either raise your hands or get out. Raise your hands or get out. Any spirit that may have been there, exited at the get out. You best believe that. And everybody in there should have exited with it. But she gonna speak. He said she gonna speak on Thursday. He gonna have a I follows him. I don't know if there's a way for me. I just guess I better remember his name and come and check up on it and see if I can get hold of that video. Because she gonna speak. She said she won't. She left. Because I said, when I watched this video the other day, because this is a second video. The video the other day was showing the arrogant pastor, because he spoke on his arrogance. It was showing the arrogant pastor in the midst of telling her, raise your hands or get out. Raise your hands or get out. Can you stop singing? I'm singing a solo. Can you stop playing that old piano over there? You ain't playing in my key. What's going on with y'all up in that pulpit? I ain't never seen such a thing in a whole lot of years. I'd say about 40 of them. Yeah. 39-ish, 8. So I've been at all, so I was at All Saints quite some time. I done seen a lot of pastors. I done been pastored. I ain't particularly no church hopper, because I'd rather sit out than just hop around. But to each his own. But I have had my share of pastors. My ex-husband was military, so we were here sometimes, we were there sometimes. I went from childhood church to an adulthood church. I was probably at Ivy as long as I was at All Saints altogether. Probably. I might have been at Ivy longer than All Saints for real. But I wasn't just going to, I'm not just the one that's going to, since I've had children, they have been important to me as far as, let's find a church. I always wanted it to be something that I felt like they had an interest in. So yeah. But I ain't never seen such a thing. I ain't never seen such a thing. I don't understand why a person thinks that they are in control of another person. Can someone give me that scripture? I would greatly appreciate that, you know? I would greatly appreciate that, because I ain't seen it. I ain't seen that scripture nowhere, you know? That what we talking about, them unsafe temples, them unsafe temples, them unsafe temples. And the crazy thing is, the man that had the question that stemmed, I'm back to the Facebook post, you know, where I told the woman who God was speaking to in that post, where she like, I didn't ask you, was you good or not? You must have felt like you needed to say that, but then, like I said, the person that's saying that they good, I done studied that and brought that. The person that's saying that they good, when the word of God tells us that we supposed to repent daily, I ain't saying that you got to say you evil. But you good is like you saying that you know that somebody else is in a damned place. As much as I sit up here and quote Second Chronicles 7:14, I think I said 4 and 17 the first time. 7 and 14. God calling the church, the ecclesia is one of the most very most sensitive places. And I just came up here and said, God said balanced. You can't say nothing about it. You can't say nothing in private. You can't say nothing in public. You say something in private and somebody gonna take, keep on coming. You say something in public, they gonna say, you're not supposed to take that to the world, tight it. Where we supposed to check each other at? Where? When? How? Tell me. Just like Lovely T said today, as somebody came into her comments and was trying to come down on her about the way that she felt about 50 Cent. Not only did she have to let them know that she was a 50 fan, she hit a whole bar. She hit a whole 3 bars. I said, Lovely T, if you don't sit up there and sing many men, wish death upon me, that's all I got for you. With it, now I probably can do some Jay-Z or some Tupac the way she got on that 50, and I love 50. Just not learn your music love. And 50 from New York too. Like 50, if I'm not mistaken, I think 50 and I are from the same hood in New York. 50 and I left New York as a child, so I don't know. I ain't, somebody just said that to me. Well, I've heard that before anyway. But 50 and I, and also Nicki Minaj is like right there from the block. I want to say that some of my peoples talk about she right there from Rockaway Boulevard, 147th Street. That 147th Street was the block I grew up on. But yeah, when I say she hit about 3 bars. You better let these folks know that it's okay to love somebody and check them. I just came up here and said it's flattery. If you are not willing to check a friend supposed to be able to check you. Somebody love you. No, her and 50 Cent ain't friend. But she just sat up there and hit 3 bars of his music. That means she listen, Jay-Z, come on. Y'all want me to? I don't gotta do it. I don't gotta do it. But let me tell you about this. I said, because I started saying that I don't like fights. I don't. I never like to watch them. I shared one fight on social media, and the only reason that I shared that fight is because it frustrated me that I was seeing my hometown come across my timeline that way. And I shared that fight to say it's just no bueno. Like, look, I have had my share of those. We gonna talk about it. I never like to fight. Fighting hurts. I never went out and started one fight. I mean, if you get in my space and I can't do this, I guess that's what we about to talk about, because she more than got in her space. We're gonna talk about Kaylee and Marnice. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it. Hey, hey, hey. We're gonna talk about it. Did that really just happen? This should not be happening. Don't do that. While I am this phone is temperamental. This phone is temperamental. It just literally just went off, and it's very much charged. It should be close to 100%. But it takes a minute to charge it, and sometimes it just wants to do what it wants to do. While I'm waiting for it to come back up so I can read the scripture right quick. Once I read the scripture, we is going to get into Kaylee and Marnice. Yes. I'm going to talk about this Do Better podcast video I watched. So, do y'all remember when I had said, how does Ressa Tessa know? And when she kept saying, I can't have this baby here, I can't have this baby here, I can't have this baby here, that she was speaking words out of her mouth. She was speaking words out of her mouth. And God may have allowed, I ain't saying God took her baby, but God may have allowed that which came out of her mouth to be so. We don't know how God is ever going to get us where we need to be. We don't know what events will transpire. We don't know God's plan. We don't know it. We cannot even ponder it. That's why Sylvie be throwing some things at you that she feel like we might can ponder. You know? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Because we can never. God's ways are not our ways. God's thoughts are not our thoughts. So this woman comes on this. They were on Karamo. I think that was Karamo's face that I saw. And she said that she got pregnant by the dude the second time. The second time. And I can't, like, I haven't watched the entire Karamo. I just watched the clip. Sometimes you might want to go in and see the whole thing and not the clip. But in watching the clip, I have a hard time understanding. And you know I said one in the middle, so I'm trying to understand, because I'm thinking he could not have been physically so abusive because you were sitting in close proximity to him. So I would think if somebody was that dangerous, you wouldn't want to be in the same vicinity as them. But to tell them that their child is not here, you got rid of the child. That's what you told them the second time. And y'all have a child together, so it's not like this person is out of your life because it wasn't said that wasn't said. It almost makes me want to go and look up that Karamo, see if I can find that Karamo, because I would like to know, because you said that your child, you gave the child up, but you still spoke death on that child. You spoke death on the child. Like, look, I'm trying to tell y'all. My issue in the brick and mortar, I say this on this platform, even when I was still working in the brick and mortar, my issue was attendance. It was never performance, because I am a G when it comes to whatever it is I learned to do. One of you guys, and I thank her, and I'm thanking her again publicly, just told me I need to learn how to edit, and I'm trying. I put my videos in CapCut. What I do in CapCut, that's something that I take pride in what I do in CapCut, but I also am here for y'all. She said it was too busy. And I have a girlfriend that said that to me before. Like, she was like, the lights, it was so bright. When I do my Hello Beautiful videos, and I was going to explain this to Mini-Me 1.5, but her brain be just like, so I don't like to be putting stuff on her without visuals. She like a mama, sometimes I need visuals. But when I do Hello Beautiful, I normally do them with hearts and stars. So that can get a little bit... but I am learning this editing thing as I go as well. I'm learning this editing thing as I go, and my whole goal is to be better. The God said do this organically, and that's what I'm doing. And in doing it organically, I done already said I need y'all input. How can I know what y'all feel like is not right, or look, when the young lady came, we get ready to talk about that too. And all I say to that young lady, that I watched on the Do Better podcast is watch your words, baby, because you don't never know. You don't never know. Just watch your words. That's all Sylvie got to say about that. You know? Um, what did I had said? I don't know what I had said just then. But it was segueing into where I'm going to. Oh, I try to do what I can to listen to what it is that y'all like. When the person came up here and brought the person I'm about to speak about to me, initially I thought the person was speaking about. I be lost, y'all. I am still learning how to go and research. Still learning if look, my monthly analytics just told me to do the evergreen. I know it has to do it because it has seen me looking up evergreen content. I'm determined that everything we do with these phones comes back to the phones. Hey, they're robots. They are robots. The phones are robots. Um, but it was like the evergreen content or what have you. But I got to Gypsy Rose because somebody was on my live and was like, can we talk about Gypsy based off of what they heard me talking about that night? And I didn't know what Gypsy was. What do you want me to speak about a Gypsy about? What about a Gypsy? What are they doing? Oh my God. But then the person was like her mother. Now I'm like, and look, it's still her. She said her mother and everything. I was still a gypsy. But I went and researched, and I came and I spoke about gypsy from my viewpoint. Um, and I still hold my viewpoint. Like Gypsy Rose is look. I wasn't even looking for Gypsy Rose today. I told my daughter, look, when my TV is on, it could be on mute, and it just be a picture playing. A lot of times I don't have my TV on, but if it's on and the sound is on, generally I'm using it as background noise, as if I was doing something and had music on. That's how my TV is. That's what my TV does for me. So today I had it on mute. So when I went and unmuted it, because I watch court shows for most of the day, and some of them I watch repetitively. I told my daughter I didn't even realize what had went on. I had seen that court show, but it was something in it that I hadn't seen, because I told y'all what I be doing with TV. I don't really be watching, but something might cause me to look up something they say or something like that. So I had it on the channel that some specific shows that I watch came on, and after they went off, TMZ came on, but I was still in the process of doing something else. So I hadn't unmuted the TV to turn it to another channel. So when I went and unmuted the TV, I did not immediately turn it to another channel. So TMZ started playing, and I started listening to it. And the first thing, I think it had went to a commercial and came back, and then next thing I know, I hear a Gypsy Rose. Oh my God, Gypsy Rose by Main TMZ. Oh my God. And I know she's made all of it, like she's on Lifetime, but I'm like it's her, like y'all really just be on it. But she broke up. Look, and my daughter knew about it and everything, and I would have never knew about it if I wouldn't have left my TV on TMZ, because I was getting ready to turn it back to Judge Million. I don't watch her new show, but I watch People's Court. So I was about to turn it back because People's Court was about to come on. Her new show comes on at 2 o'clock, and TMZ comes on at 3 o'clock. So I turned back to where I was, because her new show and People's Court come on the same channel. So she was so in love, and all I said is, this baby done went on whole social media platforms, because let's face it, dating websites, those are social media platforms as well. She done went on a whole social media Christian dating website to find this young man that is now fighting for his life and his sanity, because he does have mental health challenges. There is a young man in Virginia Beach. I'm going to tell these stories simultaneously because my daughter said that the United States does not have the happy medium. My cousin says that Nick, in Gypsy's case, needs the happy medium. The criminally insane institution is too much, and the prison that he's in is too much, because there is mental illness that was involved in his decision making. They're saying the same thing in this Virginia Beach case. And the thing about it is, Nick is behind bars. This young man is not for the next 3 months. So my prayer is for safety of those who are in his vicinity. He sent an air tag to a 7-year-old when they found, and it had a tracker in it. You can Google the story. It was in Virginia Beach. And when they found it, his story is that he was attracted to the mom, and so he sent it through the daughter. And I said all of that because Gypsy Rose had this young man believing that they were going to be together. And then Gypsy Rose had this, she married that young man. Gypsy Rose left her marriage because she's saying, now look, I ain't gonna say, I don't know if they both be Christians or not, but she left her marriage because he said that she couldn't do anything right. That's what the article says, but when I was watching TMZ on TV, because I went and read a bit of the article after I came off of the actual video on TV, the video says that she wanted to spend time with her family, and that was the issue. Now, I don't know if y'all remember when I was cutting up Gypsy Rose, when I did the Gypsy Rose live, I came across the young lady Fancy, who has the Good Wives Network, who was on the Gypsy Rose train, and she became suspicious because of how things were going with the family. Sylvie just wants y'all to ponder. Spidey said there's always two sides. That's why I said I'm trying to understand how a mother feels like it's okay to even ever say that your baby is not here, even if you gave it up. Because it sounds like you gave it up because you don't like the man. It didn't particularly, that's why I said I would like to watch the video. It didn't particularly sound like she gave the baby up to keep the baby safe. Because if that were the case, then would you want your other baby, his other child, to be around him? We don't want to count these costs in the beginning. You talking, Lord. What you gonna never hear me do is rationalize not being married anymore. I'm not gonna try to put it on him. The G that we gonna talk about didn't complain about now party involved. Didn't complain about now party involved. You all gonna hear me say that I ain't do everything. I ain't saying I condone nothing my husband did. He did a whole lot of cheating. I still can say that I had to analyze myself as a person, as a wife. What I'm going to say, I was good because I want the cheater? That's a place of delusion. That's a place of delusion. So not only is her and Ryan broke up, they said she got matching tattoos with the ex. I forget what the ex name is because Eric is what's coming to me, but I don't think it's Eric. I didn't read the whole entire article, but I did come across the ex when I was doing the initial research, when I talked about it initially. But that is all of this is for the likes and the views, but your emotions can't handle it. That's all I be trying to sit around here and say. Get you steady. Anytime you got to be steady blocking folks and And he said you can't do nothing. He said you couldn't do nothing, right? That just seems like something to keep the drama going, because there is no self-work being done. There is just, I want to be known. I want to be famous. That is what Fancy said and what I felt before I even started researching, before I even found Fancy. And the fact that the last time I spoke about it, she was already losing followers, it would just make sense that you would blow up your marriage. It makes for people to come back in and start watching you again. But the fact that you bouncing around from man to man makes you the common denominator, baby, not the man's. I was thinking about that with paternity court. Like, these women really be coming up here on paternity court hot like fire. And they be the pappy. Sometimes they be the pappy. But it's not been one time. And if it has, forgive me. But I told you I watch them and they come on repetitively. Generally, there is another person there in the window of conception, and that would be the reason that they have those doubts. The whole reason there's a such thing as paternity court, because you are out there. Okay, ladies, you don't want a man to get upset once you brought another man into paternity. Like, you want him to just take your word that you know that he's the daddy, do you? Look, that one that that said, I reject you. Look, that was another, that man was single, I think. But the one that she brought to court as the defendant, that was a married man. A married man who had 4 children and a business and all of that stuff with his wife. Her crazy tail got up there and said, I want the baby to be your husband's. So you just want to tell the woman, you just want to reap more happy. You can't make wrong right. If you're going to do wrong, nobody can stop you from doing it, but you cannot make wrong right. And you'll probably bring God into it too. But guess what? He won't even the daddy. Now one of them was the daddy. There were 3 there too. You're the common denominator. Let's read some scripture, then we're going to talk about Kaylee and them, and we're going to get up out of here. Y'all, this phone went down tonight. I'm going to have to, this thing, when it died, it took all the strength of the phone. I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to get one of those or an extension cord or something, because this is not a long charger. So it has me doing uncomfortable things with the phone, you know? Uncomfortable things with the phone. Hold up. Trying to make sure my earbuds, look, I don't have my headsets on today. That like I said, I would want to use those to cancel out noise when I sing, not to just be talking. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys like, share, subscribe. I'm just trying to get to my notes now. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, all right, all right. So we got Proverbs 2 and 12. Proverbs 2 and 12. To deliver thee from the way of the evil man, from the man that speaketh froward things. We got Genesis 40 and 15. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Why do y'all got it, man, in the dungeon? We have 3 Maccabees, 3rd Maccabees 1 and 29. For it seemed that not only the people, but also the walls and the whole earth around echoed, because indeed all at that time preferred death, unaliving, to the profanation of the place. And then we have Surah Al-Hujurat 49 and 6. O you who believe, if an evildoer comes to you with a report, look carefully into it, lest you harm a people in ignorance. Then be sorry for what you have done. And I tell you to look carefully into it. It don't say that an evildoer can't bring you a true report. Didn't I just say truth? Don't care who tell it. It said look carefully into it. I think too often we'll think of, yeah, especially if they look evil, they don't look the part. Oh my God. You'll forget that it said look carefully. Look carefully means take it if you need to. But if it ain't right, get rid of it. What the proverb talking about? The evil man. The evil man wants to initiate thee into all the secrets of his club. He wants you to come in and join the gang. Come in and join the gang. Come set a spell. Come party. Diddy, the diddler. Look, no more, no less, Lord. No more, no less. No more, no less. People are going to come out the woodworks on this man. I am not a Diddy fan, but everything that's going to come out the woodworks, it's not going to be the truth. You may try to think that that evil man might just be Diddy. You might want to be, see, cause if we think that the man ain't evil, because sometimes your altar's been altered, it's distorted. You look at evil and think it's good because it's dressed up real pretty. It's slick with the words. Make it sound real good. Sometimes it sounds like wisdom. Wisdom and folly. They sit right there. That's all. To allure thee to intemperance. And what is intemperance, you say? Basically, when you is doing things that don't align with what your conscience, because your conscience going to tell you, it's going to get you to jittering. Unless you are conscienceless, then that's a different story. That's a whole nother kind of wicked. That's a whole nother kind of wicked. But you heard those things that I called you into, because we can, you got to be able to see yourself in it. You got to be able to see yourself in it. You might learn how to have some compassion for somebody. Compassion does not mean agreement, but the understanding. Compassion entails understanding. Understanding entails compassion. Catch it. Instruct in order to deceive and defraud the unwary. People that don't even know. like these, there's this thing now where people want to fraud old folks. You want to defraud old folks. What was I watching? It said that somebody was coming to do some roof work. I don't know if it was a court show, coming to do some roof work, but it was a scam. That it was the person's parent, and they were the elderly, and the person was able to get to their parents' house. And the before the man came and was able to scam him, and the man kept saying, the owner told me I could do this, the owner told me I could do this. The man went and sat out in his car and was trying to wait the door. It was the owner's daughter who answered the door. She was like, I am the owner, you can leave. He thought he was going to wait her out. It's people out there that want to defraud the unwary. Can't just be answering email, especially when you think that it's got something to do with your bill collections. A lot of bill collection companies are saying that now. We're not going to send you no text message for asking you for payment and stuff like that. People are out there. People are headstrong and doing debaucherous things. Some because they just are conscienceless. But if you are not conscienceless and you are doing these things, I said night before last, get in God's face. I said I had to get in God's face. Sometimes we got to get in God's face. To blaspheme religion and launch the reins to passion. Passion is your feelings, your emotions, anything that makes you feel good. And it's nothing wrong with being passionate. It is nothing wrong. When I say check your emotions at the door, I'm not telling you to get rid of your emotions. I'm telling you not to be led by them. Judge Judy just said, and cousin will tell you right now, I don't deal in feelings, I deal in facts. Judge Judy said, I don't deal in feelings, I deal in law. So we can feel how we want to feel when we want to feel it. From the smallest feeling to the biggest feelings. You know, the biggest feelings be the feelings that you feel like you can't control what you're feeling, but we are all in control of our own members, whether we want to take control of them or not. Sometimes taking control ain't friggin' easy. But this one goes out to the 714, if my people who are called by my name. If it's a difference between gaining control not being an easy thing, and just not even trying, not even attempting to get control of that thing at all. If you know that something needs control and you good with the fact that it's out of control, you just gonna let it happen. There is no conviction there, because there should be conviction there. That moment that there is no conviction there, you definitely outside the will of God. Definitely outside the will of God. The people be trying not to let this happen because this phone's so difficult to get in. These here Androids here, all the way talking about iPhone. All I gotta do is Face ID. I don't look. It took me some. I didn't want to give them the ID to my face. So these are the crooked ways that lead to destruction. You know what helps against that evil man, though? The protecting guardianship of discretion and understanding. You remember those things? Those things that I said at the top? The headstrong, acting on impulse of whatever feeling is in the uppermost of your mind, whatever's here. That's the rash feeling. You're not thinking for that. The first thing that comes to your mind. The uppermost of your mind is the first thing that comes to your mind. You're unrestrained by calculation or conscience. There's no discretion in that. If there is no discretion, it's highly likely that there is no understanding. right there. Okay. Protection from an evil way, an evil heart, and an evil way being an evil conduct. Because the evil man, when I went into the study, it basically says this is not speaking about a man in particular, more so much as a way or a way of conduct. But one of the commentary did go on to say that if it was speaking about a man, it'd be the man of sin. You know, the man that's against the Most High God. The Antichrist. It says discretion arising from wisdom being resident in the heart. Residents live. You are a resident of your address, of your household. Wisdom has to be resident in your heart, and that will be a sufficient safeguard against the allures of the evil man. And it's not to say that you're not going to ever, it's not to say that we never going to be headstrong or anything like that, but no, if can't nobody tell you nothing at no time, hunty. Because sometimes it's folk that love God that will rationalize that. That can't nobody tell you nothing. They love God, but can't nobody tell you nothing. But you have to understand that if no person can tell you nothing, then you are negating God, because you never know if God wants to use a person to speak to you. Period. I give it to you soft that time. I almost choked. You never know if God wants to use a person to speak to you. And if you just okay, like that chick was on Facebook, ain't nobody tell you nothing. Ain't nobody tell you nothing. Because you just needed some way to come back. I should have said that scripture is speaking to the church. It's not speaking to the world, the earth, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell. It's not speaking to all of them. When you start to study the word, you know, me and my cousin was talking about that one thing, talking about learned people, and we said we both came to the agreements. Because I looked that word up and it don't come nowhere. But when cousin said it, I said, cousin, if you say it, I'm good. You can be unlearned in either sex. Because that's what the unction said about the young man that told the musician, stop playing, you're not playing in my key. He was unlearned, he wasn't ready to be in the pulpit. But see, it's a lot of people, it's a lot of people that commentary ain't never hurt nobody. Commentary ain't never hurt nobody, but people want to decipher. Once you start going in strong, and Strong's Exhaustive Concordance ain't even commentary per se. Strong's Exhaustive Concordance is going to tell you every time that Bible says man, when it is talking to all of us, when it is talking to the men, when it is talking in reference to Jesus versus man, when it is speaking in a God-like way. Strong's Exhaustive Concordance is going to tell you when God is talking to the church and when God is talking to the world. I reign on the just as well as the unjust. The peoples keep letting their phone go off. Well, dang, it just sprung back. It was on 19%, now it's on 37. Y'all know I just plugged this thing back in. I told y'all this phone has a mind of its own. It's a robot. It's a robot. the evil man, corruption, their peril. The spell of lust palsies the grip of its victim. Lust. Lust is giving into anything that you feel. Lust feels good. And it palsies you. Why? Because it feels good. What is a palsy? Paralyzes you. Paralyzes you. Stuck up in that lust, it be feeling great. It be feeling great. I don't care if you is in that department store with your favorite brands. I don't care if you is laying next to the greatest boo. I don't care if you is sitting in front of the greatest steak dinner or the best hit you was ever about to take in whatever form that you were going to take it. Lust palsies the victim. That would make it so hard to come out of it. That's why the moment that palsy creates a place that has no conviction, there's a problem. Lust palsies the victim. Everything dies under the influence of wickedness. Everything. Self-respect, spiritual sensibility, mental freedom, the freshness, the vigor, and the beauty of life. Everything dies. I guess it's okay to say it when you're not talking about the peoples. I don't think that I should have to say everything unalives. That's stupid. The antidote. Wickedness is terribly powerful, but it's powerful. Because if you try to take yourself out of it, but you fit into any of those things, you know, that plate of food, that department store, that boo, that drug, like, consider yourself wicked. If you are palsied by any of it, don't just consider the person that's out there like Psycho, the only wicked one. Don't just consider Donald Trump the only wicked one. Wickedness is terribly powerful, but wisdom is mightier. Its mightiness in man, however, depends upon the right reception. How you gonna take in what somebody brings to you? Because God might be talking to you at this particular time to tell you it's time to step up your game. You have been the person who didn't want to, look, let me talk to you from experience. You have been the person who did not want to hear it if it didn't come to you right. But now, baby, I need you to mature. Somebody might step on your toes, but if you need to catch it, I need for you to catch it. This is the season that you're in right now, baby. This the season. Come on. The tree frog. The tree frog acquires the color of whatever it adheres to for a short time. So if it get on an oak tree, it's going to be brown. If it get on a sycamore tree or a cedar tree, it's going to be whitish brown, it says. But on yellow corn, it's going to be green. Don't let it go over your head, because everything that come out that ground green first. It's going to be green. Just so it is with young men. Their companions tell us what their characters are. With the vulgar, the licentious, and the profane, then hearts are already stained with guilt, with their guilt and shame, and they will themselves become alike vicious. Be careful the company you keep, basically. Be careful the company you keep. And lady, don't throw that out the window because it's saying young man right there in that particular commentary. Don't throw it out the window. God is talking to us all. That was a commentary. I already said to you that the evil man is a way. It is conduct. It can be people, but it don't gotta be. Now, the froward mouth, to turn to pervert, and should be translated perverseness. Perverseness is the willful misrepresentation of that which is good and true. The spirit which indulges in this perverseness is stubborn, scornful, self-willed, and rebellious. And it is from such a spirit that discretion is a preservative. Ain't no discretion around that person. But it waiting if you want it. It waiting for you if you want it. But it ain't there. It comes from a word fromward. Froward comes from a word fromward. And the introduction, that's where I read you the headstrong. That came from this commentary. Unfaithful, unlawful, transgressors of the law. To take pleasure in sin is a characteristic of fallen humanity. Fallen humanity means that the majority of us take pleasure in sin. Howsoever, to delight in seeing others sinning is altogether devilish. Devilish. When you want to see something, what you want to do is one thing. But when you want people around you because you want to see them doing the depraved things that you like to do, ooh, and that's birds of a feather flock together on a whole nother level, Lord. On a whole nother level. Perverse things contrary to the light of nature. The first thing that came to me was contrary to the light of nature was, ooh, that sounds like a little bit like animal love. It's contrary to the light of nature. You're not supposed to be loving on an animal. I went and looked up a synonym for animal love because I didn't just want to be calling out that word, because I can imagine if you got to be saying unalive, then you just ain't supposed to be calling out the animal love word. But when I went in and I looked up synonyms for animal love, words came up like savagery, inhumaneness, wickedness. Contrary to the light of nature. Contrary to divine revelation. Contrary to the word of God. Both the law and the gospel. Now we get to this Genesis 40:15. I put the good, the bad, and the ugly. Talk about Joseph. When Joseph got thrown in the dungeon. Now look, Joseph ain't do nothing. Joseph ain't asked for nothing. And yet Joseph didn't complain. That's why I said Joseph was a G. Joseph didn't complain. All Joseph told the men, when Joseph interpreted those dreams, was, I'm innocent. And can y'all let the peoples know I'm innocent? Since I'm interpreting y'all dreams, I'm letting you know that you getting ready to be good. So can you please, like I'm letting you know that you getting ready to be good, you getting ready to be restored. back everything that you had. Like you probably gonna get a little more. Like, yeah. Now you on the other hand, you thought because I brought him a good report that I was bringing. Oh, you gonna get your heads from. You gonna get your heads from. He was gonna get his heads from. I don't own the rights to any of this music. So I don't think that he was gonna. I don't think that he was gonna want to go out there and tell Pharaoh that somebody had just can you go look out for the man that just told me that you was gonna do away with my head. But he thought he was scratching the back, and his back was gonna get scratched. Joseph's back still itching. So it would have been waiting on the who got to stay? Who got to stay? The butler or the baker? Whichever one got to stay. I don't know if it was the butler or the baker. I don't know which one got to stay. But whichever one got to stay, they forgot all about old Joseph. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. When it spoke about the land of the Hebrews, when it said that that had to be something. That wasn't something that Joseph would have said. Joseph wouldn't have just said, I'm from the land of the Hebrews. But they who got him in this dungeon, they would have said that in order for him to say. He would have heard that being said and called it out, is what the commentary said, basically. Yes, it said Joseph got stolen. Excuse me. Joseph got sold. Now, he could have got unalived, but he didn't, because Benjamin came and saved him, because they wanted to unalive him, because they was jealous of him. Like, what I can imagine that it sounded very crazy. It sounded crazy when he told his daddy. It said his daddy chastised him when he told him, I'm going to rule over you guys. Who wants to hear that from, I think Joseph was the baby boy, I think. Who wants to hear that from their baby brothers? So y'all done sold the boy because Benjamin was like, look, you cannot kill. That was Benjamin's brother. Like, I think them was the two. Was I about to say that? That was Benjamin's brother. You know, they went through a whole thing of having them babies messing around with Rachel and Leah. Because, you know, Jacob had to get Leah first. He you know, Laban scammed him and stuff. But Joseph, he didn't ask to be stolen. His daddy didn't know he stole him. You know, the boys knew that the daddy loved him like that. He didn't ask for any of that. And then he gets down there and look, all I said was all that Joseph was doing to get him in the dungeon, the dirty, nasty, dark dungeon. It said that the entire time he was in Egypt, he ain't did nothing. And it didn't say he ain't do nothing. It said he didn't do anything that ever warranted that he be put in a dungeon. Because nobody is perfect, so he probably did something. I said all that Joseph was doing was standing around being in his gorgeousness. Because in my thought process, if the queen is trying to get at you, oh my goodness. If the queen is trying to get at you, oh my goodness. So Joseph couldn't have been doing nothing but sitting around in his gorgeousness. And so here comes the queen. And the queen wants a little bit of the gorgeousness. And Joseph is like, but no, ma'am, because I love your husband. And I can't give you any of the gorgeousness because your husband's going to have my head. And the queen didn't like that. And so she went in there and she told, you know, she put on them feminine wiles. Your feminine wiles don't got to be on, she tried to put her feminine wiles on Joseph and it didn't work. So she went and used them elsewhere in a more deceptive way. Because now this man in the dungeon. Oh, you told her he came at you. So all Joseph is saying is, I ain't do nothing. I ain't do nothing to get to Egypt. And I did even less to get in this dungeon. But yet here I am. And from that, I just wanted from that, because look, it said he was furtively abducted without knowledge or consent and did not voluntarily abscond in consequence of having perpetrated any crime. That's not where I was meaning to go. Oh, yes. When I went in and looked up a cistern, because you read cistern, I think don't drink from anybody else's cistern. When you go in and you Google cistern, they show you the prettiest little thing. You go in and Google cistern. They show you the prettiest little thing. But when you think about it in reference to, this is where they jailed people. They jailed people in pits and cisterns and cesspools. Let a cesspool give you an idea of the pit, or the pit, and you just threw somebody in a deep hole in the ground. The cistern, you threw somebody in the bottom of the ground with water in there. And the cesspool, it got water amongst all the rest of the So to think that you were in that place of no fault of your own, I ain't did nothing. I ain't clipped somebody's fingernail back far too far. And I am sitting down here in the dungeon. And yet you ain't said, that man's wife came at me. I didn't come at her. You ain't said, God, why God let this happen? Oh my God, I can't stand God. Why God be doing that? If there was a God, then Joseph ain't say none of that. Joseph ain't say, dang, master, I thought you loved me. You ain't even gonna hear my side. Y'all done took me in like that. Now you acting like we ain't even fam. Come on. He could have said all of that. Joseph ain't say none of that. Joseph was a G. He took it like a G. That he did. That he did. He defended his character. And he had good character. So why would I not want to defend my character if I have good character? Character gonna speak for itself. Now that third Maccabees 1:29, for it seemed that not only the people but also the walls and the whole earth around echoed, because indeed all at that time preferred death to the profanation of the place. I told you they came in like Judas and them. They didn't like the way that they was coming in and trying to make anything go in the temples. This is where I'm getting the temples are unsafe. And so Judas and his brother said that we're not getting ready to have this. This particular verse that they're speaking about here, this chapter, when I up at the top, it said all of the women were confined to their bed chambers. But it said they came out of the confinement of their bed chambers, of their marriage bed. We not doing nothing. We not getting ready to do nothing but get out in these streets and pray without ceasing. Now this is my thought process, because I couldn't really find commentary on this. This is a rebellion though. If they got out in the streets, because it said they preferred death to the profanation that was going on, and it said all of the women got out in the streets, Do you think they got out in them streets and there was safety there waiting for them? They was trying to take Jews down. They were trying to take them down. And the women got in the streets. If I'm not mistaken, it said pregnant women and everything. All's the women got out there and G'd up. They came together. Didn't he say they all liked each other? It could have been some. They got on women code. They got on woman code. If ever I synced it. If ever I synced it. And that the Surah Al-Hujurat 49:6. O you who believe, if an evildoer comes to you with a report, look carefully into it, lest you harm a people in ignorance, then be sorry for what you have done. And the same way that I said, make sure that it's not the truth, you have a person that's going to believe anything that someone tells them if it's dressed up right. That's why I said, if you're looking for an evildoer because of the way somebody looks, instead of the spirit of discernment, discretion, and understanding being at the forefront of that, oh baby, you ain't gonna be looking carefully into it unless you liable to harm some people in ignorance. It said, whenever you receive important news bearing upon a vital matter, you should not accept it immediately, but should first examine the man who has brought it. See, I get a picture of maybe a crackhead, the dirtiest of bums coming up to you and you examining him and thinking that he's not going to bring you nothing that could possibly be the truth. You hear where I'm trying to go with this? But if he comes to you in a suit and a tie and speaks some good slick words, you might think that is the truth. Catch it. Examine the man who has brought it. If he is an evil man whose report is not authentic, normally you should inquire into it carefully to ascertain the truth instead of accepting it and acting on it immediately. You do want to know that it's the truth. But you do not want to think that it can't be the truth because of the way someone looks. You ain't always going to know evil. If you keep thinking that you're going to know evil by the way that it looks, oh baby, woe to you. It's all I got to say. Now let's talk about this here school fight here. Then I'm gonna get out your face. Let's talk about this school fight, because Marnice DeClue could lose everything. And I would like for y'all to go click on that link. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe this. Or at least share it. At least share it. This is an honor student, y'all. They're saying that she ain't never been in no trouble. You can't even Google. You just was able to Google and find her name in the last day. And this happened a month ago. They're just releasing her name in the last day. And God had to, because look, okay, so the way that it was brought to me, and when you watch the video, you're going to see this young lady, they're trying to try Marnice as an adult for this fight. And the other young lady started the fight. The lady that you see that's Kaylee Gain, y'all. That's Kaylee Gain that y'all see in the thumbnail. Kaylee Gain started the fight. Y'all go check out. Y'all know I'm always shout out Michi. Michi don't be on YouTube all the time, and I don't always go over to Michi X. I don't always go over. I am subscribed to her her. But I will, when I watch her video on YouTube, I will go over to the network and finish watching the video. But I have to do better about supporting the network. Because she does offer free, it's a free subscription. She does offer free things that you can watch on the network, aside from having a paid subscription. But Michi is saying that the young Gaines, Kaylee Gaines, is a gang member. And I was upset at first. I'm like, why you can't find this young lady's name? I had already been praying for her in my spirit, but why they acting like they just kept calling her the teen and the suspect, and it was bothering me until I went into the article that said they couldn't release her name because she is a juvenile. Lord, I pray that this goes all the way through. Lord, I thank you even right now for what you are doing. Decrease me, oh God, and increase in me. Forgive me for anything that I may have said, done, or thought that was not pleasing to you. I thank you for how you're moving even right now, God, on behalf of Marnice DeClue and her family. Lord, it is my desire, if my desire lines up with yours, that she be tried as a juvenile. And Lord, you know I had a hard time watching that video. I did. That's the part of me that can see, that can understand how. But there's another part of me now. Now you see, I put she a gangster. Allegedly, she's a gang member. Katie, Marnice is an honor student. Let's not make this a black thing. I ain't even, but let's go ahead on, because I didn't even put a picture. Let's make this could be your baby thing. This could be your baby. Marnice is an honor student. Not only has Kaylee been said to be a gang member, but Kaylee is a gang member that was suspended the day before she decided to come back to the school. No, they weren't on the premises. They knew better than that. You know you can't be on the premises that time. And I don't know how Marnice got to where Kaylee was. They youngins. I know the story of the suspended child coming to the school personally, because that suspended young lady came to my daughter's school. Yeah. And they let her in that school so that she could harass my daughter like they had been doing every day. I was walking my daughter to the bus stop because her sister wasn't able to be there. She was in band. She wasn't. Now the joke is at 88%. Woo, lightning charger. But look, feel about me how you please. I spent almost the whole school year going back and forth trying to get them to help me with these young ladies continuing to bully my daughter. So after my oldest daughter called me that day, my oldest daughter called me that day, and we went out to that school. And when we came back, when we came back, I saw them girls walking. I don't know which one. I think my oldest daughter or Nunu. I don't know which one of them said, Mom, there they go. You turn. We can handle this. And that we did. And them young ladies ain't mess with my daughter no more. They were totally off school premises. But I had been fighting this for a year, almost. Almost the entire school year. So this young lady is suspended from school for fighting the day before. She's suspended from school for fighting. Michi said that she's being initiated into the gang, so she's going around bullying, picking fights with people. My thoughts and prayers go out to Kaylee Gaines' parents. Marnice beat the brakes off of her. That's why I said the video, it wasn't as vulgar. I don't like fights. But what Marnice did to Kaylee, I did in a fight. Not on the ground. Because Marnice took her head and just bow, bow, bow. That's when I had to look away. Woo, woo. But But when I did it, when I was in the 9th grade, I wasn't looking away. I was doing it. Why? Look here, look here, look here. I just watched that video on TikTok about the Capricorns. I don't care if you don't do zodiacs. I don't care if you don't do zodiacs. Anybody that know me will tell you I don't mess with nobody. Never did. Never did. That's what I was getting ready to say about them fights. I ain't starting no fight because I went up to people and was starting fights. If you say I started a fight, it's because you was right here. I couldn't do this. If I can't do this, we have a problem. Because if we have a problem already, then this is a respectful distance. Anything closer to this, that means that you are in my personal space. And when you come into my personal space, especially if you're somebody that's saying that you don't like me or, you know, I have had someone to come in my personal space and hit me before. So no, you cannot get in my personal space. Because if you get in my personal space and you talking, but you saying that we supposed to be doing something else, I'm probably going to say, come on, let's do something else. But I took a head and I pounded it into, it won't even the wall like that. That got hollowness through it. It was tile. If tile ain't something like a ground, if tile ain't something like a ground, she ain't mess with me no more. And we ain't get suspended. And we was in the locker room. We was in the locker room. Changing our clothes for gym. And we went out there and had gym. All disheveled. So I know the story from both aspects. So this young lady comes up to her and say, I can't hear the words she's saying. Michi called out the words that she said, but then she punches the girl. She punches her. She punches her a couple of times. And then Marnice lay into her. And you know what I said? Y'all already know. You can't tell nobody how to get paid. Clap back. You can't tell nobody how to get paid. Clap back. You better keep those hands to yourself. Keep those hands to yourself. Cause you can't tell nobody how to get paid. Clap back. Now they trying to get the young lady charged as an adult, and it's coming down on the district attorney. It's coming down on the district attorney because the internet went wild. The internet went wild. The district attorney was the first one to try to say that it was a racial thing because there were no SFO officers. You know, the little security that be in the school. So you try to say that it happened because there were no SFO. So it's a whole thing going on between the district attorney, the attorney general, and the school district in Missouri. So they coming down on him at this point. So we gonna see where this go because Marnice's attorney already laid down some facts, and he said he got some stuff waiting for when they go to court. So I am thanking God in advance. God, I am thanking you in advance. I'm thanking you that Kaylee continues a path of healing because she was in critical condition. She was in critical condition. I do not feel for her. It was hard for me to watch that happen to her. But she punched that young lady several times. What was the young lady supposed to do? Turn the other cheek? It is people out here her parents' age and probably her grandmother's age that's still learning how to do that. What do you can't make a child when you want a child to be a child and then make a child an adult. Because the fact of the matter is the brain do what the brain do. Just like I said, when I watched Marnice do that to Kaylee, I couldn't watch it. But as I was a teenager doing it to somebody else, it was just adrenaline trying to get you to leave me alone. And just like Michi said, when she felt the threat, because guess what? They went down. When I watched it several times. When they went down, Kaylee grabbed her again and pulled her. And that's when that happened, because she was a big girl. So the fact that don't get it twisted, like a little chick can't do nothing. I am surrounded by little chicks that holla at Nancy, holla at Diana, holla at Verita Wright. Because she's still a little chick. Holla at Shannon McIntyre, and I'll do you one better. Shannon McIntyre is a personal experience for me, and I was a big chick and she was a little chick, and I tell everybody everywhere I go, that chick can hold her own. Don't get it twisted. This was an alleged gang member, and now you want to charge an honor student as an adult. Come on, y'all, like and share this, please. Please. You want to charge an honor student as an adult. I ain't had no problems with the law. And now you're looking for the other children. You can't release the other children, but you're looking for the other children. So when Kaylee gets better, is she going to get a charge? Because she started it. She started the whole thing. Kaylee started the whole thing. Y'all, we is to the end. We done talked about that crazy mama talking about her baby ain't here no more because you chose the man. I just posted that on Facebook. We choose them. We choose them. We let them. We have one baby and then we have two, and we see all of these warning signs and we just keep going. We don't never want to take no responsibility. We always want to put it on them at the end. We always want to put it on them at the end. Like we didn't accept it. We weren't willing participants like Recitessa. When are we going to take some responsibility for our act? Come on, ladies, just some. I love us dearly. You talking to somebody that God don't have no other way but to take responsibility for her actions. So we done talked about a Gypsy Rose. We done talked about that crazy mama talking about her baby was gone. We talked about, what else we talked about? We talked about that's a dang shame. And that's crazy, y'all, because that's why I said I was gone. Look, I'm learning. I'm going to try not to edit my videos so busy this go around, because I don't want to be giving nobody no headaches. And anybody that is trying to support me, I want to be able to support me. But I think I hit it all. We talked about Gypsy Rose. We talked about the mama. What we talk about coming in? We talked about a little bit of Diddler. I don't know, y'all, but I'll do better the next time. I'll make sure that I have everything, so when I recap, because D-God told me I got to recap too. Hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. If there are things that you struggle with, you have to figure out what it is that you have to do to get to a path of making that struggle less and less for you. I am saying that because I forgot my recap, beautiful. So I have to make sure that I write down my recap or notate my recap so that I'll have it. So that when it's time to recap, I won't be saying, I forgot. So that's just a little nugget out there. Didn't Sylvie tell y'all we is on this journey together? Sylvie loves you, beautiful. And I am out. The peoples can't see YouTube sometime and it's time to cut it off.